Hey, what's up guys? DRC3 here, back with another My Hero Ultra Impact video, and today we're going to be talking about our top UR characters. Today we got a special guest. We got JPhanta over here on the channel, and he's going to start us off with the first character. What's up, man?
Alright, what's up? So, let's just jump straight into it. First one's the obvious one. It's Yellow Aizawa. One of the craziest units in the game overall. This is for everybody watching, just like general usage. So, you know, he's very unique as in having the two seals. They don't really do too much sealing characters these days. So, still having those two skills on his Plus Ultra and Action skill. Removal of buffs with his Plus Ultra is insane for PvP, like getting rid of Kiroshimas and everything like that. And of course, he's a support for pro heroes, which isn't the best right now, but it will eventually get better. And one of the fastest characters in the game, having that 40% auto skill.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, and especially you mentioned the pro hero thing. Maybe not the best in the game right now, but the anniversary is coming up, and nobody knows anything about that yet. So maybe fingers crossed on that.
Yeah,
we can see something really interesting. All right, and then the next character we came up with, we did come up with this list collectively for the best UR characters, is Shinso, and this is a general use list for you guys, just talking about the characters we think are best and the characters we've had the best success with in various different game modes like VE Tower or the USJ or PvP, maybe a little less PvP oriented. So this Shinso is just absolutely ridiculous. He is a monster, especially if you've ever used him in VE Tower, because he has a low chance of binding the opponent, which is okay. I wish that was a medium chance. But then the main draw for this character is the reduction of skill impact by 20% for 3 turns, which is just crazy. And then he has the other action skill, which cancels temporary buffs and decreases opponent's defense and speed, so that's just nuts. And then when his HP is below 50%, he also gets resilience. And then he also increases his Plus Ultra, which you guys already know if you watch my other videos how I feel about increasing Plus Ultra gauges.
Wait, what do you feel? What do you feel about that?
Personally, it's not my favorite effect because it just throws off like the synergy of the team, you know, memories that do it or skills that do it, because now you're all of a sudden with this Plus Ultra and you're like, well, do I use this or do I go for the action skill chain? So it's just kind of like it throws off the team synergy, in my opinion. What do you think?
Fair enough. I think it's fine late game. I think early game it's meh, but like if it's like start of turn, but like if it's at the late game where like your action skills are kind of desynced with all your other characters, unless you built this perfect team where they always have their cooldowns back at the same time, I think it's fine. It could be very clutch. Also with Shinso, VE Tower, in terms of points, he has double technical hits, which is amazing, and the double status ailments, low cooldowns as well. So very good single target enemy. Bosses.
Yep, it ain't no 9-turn cooldown like Ida, so. Okay, next one.
Alright, we got Purple Bakugo. I think universally everybody likes this guy. He has the most, I think, in terms of UR characters with defense down against the opponent, plus Ultra, AoE, with the low chance to blind. And then he's got the Plus Ultra gauge increase. He's got decent cooldowns, I wouldn't say the best. And then he's got like the over time, you know, he gets stronger and everything like that. Yeah. I think the Plus Ultra gauge by 50% for 10 turns. It's a bit long. Like it's real rare to see that. And if you do see that, something's wrong with your team. Unless like you're doing like USJ. That's about it. Composure is really nice. He's got the speed, so you'll see this guy a lot in PvP for the most part. And then if you're struggling to beat a boss, I think he could be a nice substitute because he doesn't really have a type disadvantage per se. So you can just add him onto any team if you're struggling on beating a specific boss and just lower defense to and like I've in the Discord they've done like the calculations on lowering defense, and it's actually kind of insane how much like lowering defense actually does to the opponent.
Yeah, and I think this character is actually really good too. My main drawback with him, or my main problem with him, is that when it comes to PvP or PvE, there's just not a lot of other hero-type destruction units, I feel like, that are on par with him. And so it just makes him harder to run than his counterpart, Blue Bakugo, which is actually our next card. So Blue Bakugo, I think he, in my personal opinion, I would choose him over Purple Bakugo, and I know that's probably unpopular opinion there, but he does pretty much all the same things. I'll kind of talk about it too, but he raises skill impact by 50% if the opponent's burning, and then of course he has the ability to make his opponent burn, but then if you run him with a character that can burn as well, like Endeavor or something like that, he's just going to be having a huge skill impact increase on his plus ultra, so that makes this guy absolutely nuts. And then his medium chance of burning extra skill, like I said, but in addition to that burning, he also decreases the opponent's defense, just like the Purple Bakugo, but this one only does it for 15%, so it's not as crazy as the Purple Bakugo.
Yeah.
And that's why some people would definitely argue that Purple Bakugo is better, because like you said, the stat changes are just so like huge.
Yeah.
But I feel like what he lacks in getting rid of defense, he makes up for with his extra status ailment, because like I said, he does have that burn, and he has the blind like Purple Bakugo. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for, and if you're looking for the status ailments, this Bakugo would probably be the way to go. And of course, like the other one, he also increases your power as you go through the battles.
Yeah, one thing to note with Blue Bakugo, he does have lower cooldowns compared to Purple Bakugo, and technically he is stronger with his plus ultra if you do get the burn proc.
Right.
And that can be a problem. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, doing too much damage in V Tower sucks sometimes. That's just like...
yeah, but optimal for PvP.
You understand. Yeah. And he is technically faster than Purple Bakugo, so he's kind of like a staple in PvP just because he does get that speed advantage. And these days, a lot of people are just trying to be first in PvP, and we haven't moved to the second turn meta just yet. So yeah, just some like benefits for Blue Bakugo. He's not entirely the worst compared to like, there's like still good things compared to the Purple Bakugo is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And on like, this is probably a tangent, but on the PvP tangent, I'm hoping, I'm really hoping in the future we move, like, it's not that I dislike the speed meta, I just would like to see other metas, maybe like a defense meta, like it changes from every once in a while to see something different, but that's just my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go. Next up is World Heroes Todoroki. Now, if you didn't pull through him, unfortunate for you, but we still had to put him on the list here. He just...
I'm so sorry.
Pretty much, he's just like a support Todoroki that does a lot of things. You know, he does all the Todoroki status elements. He buffs allies with damage reduction and skill impact. And he gets a lot of power if you have pro heroes on the team. It's very easy to run him on like pretty much anywhere, just because he doesn't really have too much restrictions per se. And yeah, he's just like a nice solid unit. Nothing like, I wouldn't say out of this world, but like he's like a stable unit where you like, if you're versing reds, he's like probably like somebody you wouldn't bring anyway. So
yeah, I agree. And then like just the fact that he in my opinion, he's kind of like the do-it-all Todoroki, because he reduces damage and then increases skill impact, so that just makes him, like you said, an absolute staple. Absolutely nuts. On a counterpoint to the next character, Green Todoroki. In case you guys don't know, I don't think I've ever actually said this on my channel, but this was the very first character I ever awakened. I did my awakening missions for him, so I've actually gotten a lot more use out of the Green Todoroki than the Blue Todoroki. I do have them both level 100 now. But for a long time, and I know JPhanta and me talked about this a little bit before, I ran Green Todoroki actually on a PvP team, which might disgust some people, but I really just didn't have other characters, and this guy actually is still a viable pick for like a PvP sub, I would say, if you're missing Blue Todoroki. So this guy is still pullable, so you don't have to like freak out if you didn't get the Blue Todoroki, because this guy is like a close second. I definitely wouldn't say he's as good as the Blue Todoroki, but he does have his own advantages. Like he can freeze multiple opponents, he can burn multiple opponents, he's got the two AoEs, which are just nuts, and then on top of that, when he gets to a low health, if somebody attacks you, you have the chance to freeze them, and so that could save you, like, come in clutch in PvP or PvE. So this guy's just like an all-arounder as well. I'd kind of put him in the same category as like Blue Todoroki, just being a staple. Yeah,
he has the double AoE moves, so when you're that is an advantage in PvP. Like, you can do, you know, three hits on 3 different characters, so it's really nice in that sense. Like, yeah, he is a bit slow, I will say. But if you can like somehow manage it, I mean, he's completely fine.
Right, and
He's
that's why I maybe put him, like, if you don't have anything better, like, put him on a sub slot. If you have better cards, use the better cards. But if you don't have anything else, he'd be pretty good for a sub slot.
In VE Tower, though, that's a different story. He's like meta.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's meta. All right, but that's pretty much it. Next up, we have Nejiri. Woo! Everyone's favorite healer. You don't see a PvP match without her.
All right, guys. It is your job to go and change that. Everybody start running Yayorozo, please. Make my PvP experience better.
I will be the demon that won't do that. There's not much to say about it. She's just the best healer in the game. She plus Ultra Gauge with her increase for all allies, which makes plus Ultra turn 3, doable, and the regen on turn 1. It's ridiculous, and as long as you have EX skills on her that can get her to be tanky, she'll be living for a while, and then all of her heal procs will happen. She's not the strongest, but no healer is really strong in my opinion to begin with, like crazy strong. So and I think she's actually the fastest healer as well, so that also is beneficial. So
yeah. I can verify that she is. I also have her level 100. I don't know if you do or not yet, but yeah, she absolutely is the fastest healer. And as far as PvE goes too, she is just really good for her technicals and the healing too. Like, obviously she's not going to hit a ton of technicals because she has the one skill, but still very good.
Yeah, I think the one thing that benefits in PvP for her is that she can just be ran on every team as well. When it comes to other healers, they have like the support ability, which like is only specific for their one specific typing, which obviously works if you the type advantage and stuff like that, and you're obviously bringing that. But like if say like you wanted to bring like a rainbow team, you're not going to pick a Chaco over Nejiri at this point if it's a rainbow team.
Right. So earlier you mentioned something about going to a 2-turn meta in PvP, and Nejiri is what empowers the 3-turn meta right now. Are you expecting some character like that for the anniversary? Got any news you'd like to share?
I got nothing.
Just speculation. All right, moving on to the next one. We have Blue Kiroshima, and for everyone that's what's up?
You want to add Red Kiroshima to that as well?
Yeah, I was going to say, for everyone that's freaking out right now, we're also going to talk about Red Kiroshima because they are both on this list, and we kind of put them on equal terms with each other, so we'll talk about them kind of in tandem right now. So I'll do Blue Kiroshima, and then JPhanta will kind of talk about Red Kiroshima here. So Blue Kiroshima is my personal favorite, and we didn't get to this before. Which one's your favorite?
I like Red Kiroshima.
Okay, so
this is perfect.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so the reason Blue Kiroshima is my favorite is because he gets the barriers that completely nullify damage. That complete nullification of damage is actually really good for VE Tower and PvP. I run this Kiroshima in PvP on my defense team and my attack team. I might actually switch him to a sub slot on my PvP team soon, but I'm not going to get into why. So as far as VE Tower goes, this guy is like really good if you've ever done the Eraser stage where you have to face Overhaul and he comes at you with a plus Ultra turn 1 and hits you for like 99999. This Kiroshima can tank that for 0 damage, whereas the other Kiroshima, he tanks it, but just not as well because obviously it's not 0 damage. And then this Kiroshima right here, the reason I really, really like him in PvP compared to the Red Kiroshima is because you have the barriers that completely nullify damage, so you can save your counter for turn 3 because it's the turn 3 meta, pop your counter, and then completely nullify 2 of the 3+ ultras. And then hopefully with the memory I run, I plus ultra turn 2, so he has damage reduction for that 3rd plus ultra on top of that. And so basically this Kiroshima can do everything the Red Kiroshima can do. Also because there's memories in the game, UR memories, that literally have the effect that Red Kiroshima has to do damage reduction. You can put memories on Blue Kiroshima that do damage reduction, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get damage reduction and you get barrier, and that's why he's kind of my personal favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree, like, with the plus ultras, you can tank that obviously much more better than Red Kiroshima. And I think that's like the benefit of him. And that's why I like him in the sub slot. Sometimes if you have with Red Kiroshima, I mean, you can stack the damage reduction, with the EX skills, with his stuff, and then at least that lasts for the 2 turns, which is what I like in the long haul. I like a little bit more than just like that 1 turn barrier, because obviously that's going to disappear after you have the normal attacks come at you and all the skills. And so that's the reason why I like Red Kiroshima a little bit more, although he doesn't obviously tank as well when it comes to plus ultras. But say if you stack the damage reduction well enough, I mean, you can take very minimal damage. And that is just personal preference, because sometimes you do verse those enemies that do like double taps, do AoEs, like Nejiri in PvP will get rid of the barrier. So that's just like small nitpicks. They're pretty much even in my books. It just depends on the scenario. But I just like Red Kiroshima a little bit more.
Right, and with Blue Kiroshima, like I said, you got to know how to use him. You don't want to use his barriers, like you said, against Nejiri's thing, where it's going to get rid of it. You want to use it on the plus ultra turn. Shoot, I was going to say something about Red Kiroshima, and I just had a brain fart. Oh, no. Okay, anyways. Moving on. All right.
I will say, though, if you are slower, Blue Kiroshima might be an issue to have. But if you're faster, he's perfectly fine.
Right, and then if you're running like Blue Bakugo on PvP, which is what I do, then he fits in the team even better. So
Yeah. He does definitely have a better team. Red's a little lacking right now, in my opinion.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. You just reminded me with that. Have you seen the full Red team with this Red Kiroshima and the new Red Yaoyorozu?
Yeah, the double damage reduction.
Yeah, I've seen it hit all the way to 0. Like 0 damage.
You can do 100% damage reduction.
Yeah, that was nuts to me the first time I saw it. I didn't see it anywhere else. I just experienced it in game, and I was just like, oh, that's a thing. Okay. I will take the next one, and then you can end us off here. All right?
Yep.
All right, so our next card, we have 10 of these total. This is number 9 for you guys if you're keeping count. If you count the 2 Kiroshimas as one, that is. Is Amaziki, the new Sun Eater. He deals 650% damage to a single opponent, but here's the kicker for his plus ultra that's really, really good. He has a high chance of binding the opponent for 1 turn, and then on top of that, he has an action skill that has a chance of binding, so basically 2 out of the 3 of his skills are giving you a chance to bind, and then the other skills have additional effects on top of that, like reducing the opponent's speed, or covering allies, or reducing the opponent's defense. So this guy is actually really, really good for yellow type units. And then, of course, he has his auto skills that empower yellow type units. But what I think is really neat about this character is that even though one of his auto skills is built for yellow units, he belongs on more than a yellow unit team, I think. If you don't have the Red Kiroshima or the Blue Kiroshima, which are like the main tanks in the game, this guy can actually be a pretty good tank if you level him up. One thing I have noticed about him, though, is he can be kind of squishy if you don't have his board up. So you do have to be a little bit careful with him. But overall, he's just really solid because he's a good tank if you level him up. He can put status ailments on the enemy. Or not status ailments. What do you call that when you defense down and...
Debuff?
Debuffs. I'm happy to pray. Yeah, I'm having a day. He can put debuffs, he can tank, okay, and he can do status ailments too. He can do it all. So he's just very like a niche character in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he breaks the mold as well for PvP as to focus on not doing much on turn 1, but then turn 2 you go full on pedal to the metal with his speed buff that he does after he taunts. You do have to be a little bit tanky, and your memory choices have to be a little bit different, as you want to buff his HP over anything else at that point, or add damage reduction to him.
Yep.
So it's a little bit off the charts when it comes to like building a specific like build for him, but I think he's very good character regardless. And then in PvE, like he's fine. Like you don't even need the speed up anyway, so he's just a big power-up unit with lowering defense by 25% for 3 turns, which is very good.
Yeah, right. Absolutely ridiculous in PvE right now on the current VE tower even. PvP, like you said, just his biggest downfall, I would say, is that you have to almost build your team kind of around him to make him work. Other than that, he would be a lot better, like a lot more highly rated.
All right, and let's get to our final unit here. All of them were heroes, so I pushed so hard for the villain here, and that is Overhaul, the best villain in the game.
And I almost didn't let him. I almost said no. Just kidding.
Okay, so I think out of all the villains, he has like the most different status effects that are reasonably good. He has the debuffs on defense, he has the debuff in power, he has the bleed, he has the fear. I mean, no other unit is really doing that, so he has that unique ability. A little bit slow, but I think you can still make it work in V Tower. I think he's more of a sub lineup instead of a main lineup, unless you are doing like a slow team for the team turn 2 kind of deal. And he's decently strong as long as you're versing heroes. So yeah, he's just the best villain. He's got the regen and HP and everything like that. So and you might see his low cooldowns, but like his auto skill 2 reduces that if you do get underneath a certain point.
And I'm also looking at his action skills here, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't have the Overhaul. I haven't really had a chance to use him. The little bit I know is from seeing other people use him, like JPhanta. Shout out, go watch his channel.
On JP Ultra Impact.
JP Ultra Impact, the OG. So my question for you, I guess, because I don't really have a lot to say about this character, how do you feel about the status ailments here, like that he has?
Fear is good. Fear is actually very OP, because it literally cancels their attacks under with a 50% chance to happen, which is very good, and it lasts for 2 turns. Bleed is okay, but like fear is definitely like one of the best status ailments in the game, other than Seal.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay. Yeah, that all sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Do you agree with like our top UR picks? These were our top 10 picks. And make sure you go check out JPhanta's channel, because we are going to be doing an SR top picks. So you guys are definitely going to want to see that. I know that's probably the thing more of you guys are interested in, because URs have just been so overdone, but we had to do it for you guys. And thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. And thank you. Peace.
This was not in order, by the way. We've got to mention that.
Oh, well, no. Okay, now we end the video. We'll add that in. Thanks for watching. Peace.